So we are here, Greatness Magazine, with Mr. Ngoma Hill, poet, musician extraordinaire. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Ngoma, you are a very, very dope poet and a very talented musician. And one of the most incredible things about you is that you've been an active member of the poetry community for over 40 years, and you still continue to perform and go on tour and put on shows. So one of the questions I would have for you is, how does the current spoken word scene differ from the scene 40 years ago?
Well, primarily, the scene differs because now we have technology. We have a technological advantage, whereas we can produce our own work much easier than we could back 40 years ago.
Right.
40 years ago, you get a typewriter and you type out your stuff and have a mimeograph and you can all some copies of the chapbook. But now we have computers, we have digital cameras, so we have much more control. If you got a credit card, you can produce pretty much anything you want.
Nice.
But I think people's craft was a lot different back in that time because of that.
Word.
And also there was more discussions. There were more discussions going on. It was during the Black nationalist movement, and there were a lot of forums and stuff that people could go to, so they actually had information.
Wow.
So they had something to write about.
Wow.
Besides just their personal feelings about their love lives or whatever people.
That's dope. Wow. What do you think changed that dynamic? Do you think it's because of the change in the political, or I guess African American awareness of the political standpoints, or just curious because it's an interesting
That's an interesting dialogue.
dynamic, yeah.
Sometimes I feel integration changed. I went to high school before schools were integrated, and we had to be able to represent. We had our own stores and shops and other businesses, and we held on to those, and we had to be able to do that.
Wow.
There were no alternatives, so a lot of stuff didn't get watered down. So it created a whole different thing. We have to look at the society and the things that have been going on since that time, like COINTELPRO,
Right.
and like all the drugs that have been put in our community, like the way hip hop has been hijacked by the industry. We have to look at all those things because all of that is part of it.
Word. So what was it like to frequent venues where Gil Scott-Heron was going, The Last Poets, and Amiri Baraka at the time, and did you think that, or did you guys know that the work you were doing would have such a lasting impact on the spoken word?
Well, we were still hopping from poetry spot to poetry spot, so that was still going on like now. The difference was there was an actual movement. It was after the Civil Rights Movement. It was a part of the Black Power movement or the Black Arts movement. And we actually thought that not just thought, but we knew that we were building black institutions. So whether those particular institutions lasted or not, that's a whole nother about. But on the other hand, we felt that we were building institutions and that those institutions would continue to grow. So we thought that the work that we were doing was very important. We were young, like a lot of artists are today,
Right.
and real starry-eyed, and thought we were going, really make it really, really big. And some of us did, some of us didn't. But nevertheless, that's what it was like. One thing that made it really interesting was that we had more dialogue with each other.
Oh, wow.
Because we hadn't really arrived, we weren't on the scene yet, so nobody was a diva. So we would have venues where we would critique each other's work, so we had more dialogue amongst artists.
Wow.
And I think that's important. I think that's one of the things that's missing now.
Nice. So I mentioned earlier that you play several instruments, and you've definitely been known to fuse the work of your instruments with your poetry, both during performances and in the studio. Is there an instrument you don't play that you would like to learn?
Well, there are a lot of instruments, and I haven't really thought too much about learning more instruments. I play about 12 instruments.
Good Lord.
And I can only carry like 2 or 3 of them at a time. So it's a matter of, okay, what are you going to do next? Instrumentally.
Nice.
I like to sharpen my skills on some of the stuff that I don't get to play much, like harmonica. I play the harmonica, but I hardly ever do it. I think probably in this era you might see me playing more guitar than I have been since back in the day when I was doing serious business. I think it's important to evolve. I think the art has to evolve, and you have to find as many ways to present it as possible. So whether the way you present it is painted on the wall, or whether you can present it by using musicians or whatever, I think you have to find ways of doing it. I'm looking more to collaborating with other artists, and I mean, it's not too limited either. It could be dancers, other poets, other musicians, people that are into other forms of media, like like film. I'm interested in that at this point.
Nice.
Just trying to see where I can take that.
Very cool. So you just talked about expanding and being versatile, and you are a very versatile poet in that you are a published literary poet, and you're also a recorded artist and spoken word poet. And a lot of times you don't see that many artists walk both of those lines. They either perform and maybe they record CDs, but they don't write books or get published in other magazines and such like that. With that being said, I'm just curious, what is your stand on the age-old argument that as far as literary poetry versus performance poetry, is one more valid than another? Is one better than the other? Do you feel they complement each other? I mean, what is your take on that?
I think they complement each other. I don't see where one is more valid than the other. I think it depends upon who you feel your audience is and what you need to do to get your work to that particular artist. A lot of people say, the page versus the stage or whatever. I think everything has its place.
Right.
And I think we just have to roll with it. We'll just continue that debate. I don't know that there'll be a winner, but it's interesting. I think that academic poets primarily write for academia, and a lot of their work is not understood by the masses. And I think that we that do spoken word, I think we're trying to reach a level that people can understand and we can get our messages out, but we can't put them at too high of a level for the masses to understand what it is we're talking about. So it makes it a little tricky.
Word. So you have 6 CDs out. You've performed in numerous plays. You've been published. You've been featured in a PBS documentary for the April Poets. It just seems like you've pretty much done it all. And I guess my question is, with all these years in the industry, how do you keep it fresh?
Well, I just try to be on the cutting edge of things. I hang out with younger people rather than older people. So I try to know what's going on, what's in vogue now. I try to be up on it. One of the things about my craft is that I write social commentary and social criticism within the art that I do.
Wow.
So therefore, everything, I feel like my work has to be current. So I'm always producing stuff that's current.
Right.
So that keeps it fresh. If you're trying to write something now that there are no references, that people don't know what we're talking about like 20, 30 years ago, it doesn't matter, because I'm trying to reach the majority of people. And in these yet to be United States, the average reading level is about 6th grade. So it's really difficult to actually bring information to people. I feel that what I do as a poet is to bring information to people or shift their paradigm, give them some examples so that they can get information that they can make intelligent decisions about.
Word. Where would you like to see poetry in 5 years?
So I like to see poets be getting the same kind of play that rappers are getting. I like to see poets demanding the same kind of money that rappers get.
Word.
And in point of fact, I'd like to see it even grow even larger, because I think what the poets have to say a lot of times is like much more important than what rappers are saying.
Word.
Or either I would like to see rappers that are actually saying something.
One or the other. We can live with both.
Get some real play.
We can live with both. We can live with both. Right? So, Ngoma, where can the people find you to find out more about your work and your tours and what's going on with Ngoma?
Well, I've got a website. It's www.ngomazworld.com, NGOMAZWORLD.com. And I've still got a MySpace.
Old school.
You can go to MySpace/NotYourAverageString All the words run together that way. And I'm also on Facebook, on Ngoma Hill on Facebook, so you can check me out on Facebook. So come look.
Thank you very, very much for your time. It's a pleasure always to sit with you. We look forward to seeing you performing, hitting the road and on the stage or on the page. We'll be there to stalk you.
It's really been great. I'd like to thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Say bye.
Take care.